All right, here we go. Welcome to episode 110 of Auto Off Topic.
110%.
Yep.
All the way through.
Yep, probably not this episode, or ever really.
We always give 110%
Yeah,
of
because it's
the amount
impossible.
of effort we could give
60% of the time, we give 110%.
every time.
Yep. What's up, Brad?
Not too much. Did you make show notes this evening, sir?
I did. And maybe I shared them with you, maybe I didn't.
Don't think you did.
But we'll just keep going with it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, in the meantime, why don't you share them with me so I know
I
what's
will.
going on?
It's pretty straightforward. We'll get right into project car updates. The Talon, pretty much good to go.
Up, down updates.
Yeah. Did some shakedown miles. Feels good. Changed the oil. Changed the control arm of the ball joint. Put the mirror on. Got an inspection sticker.
I got the mirror painted.
That's right. It was like that mirror had been sitting out in the sun for a while in the parts car.
Yeah, it was junk.
It was so crazed.
Yeah.
And like, it looked like it was supposed to be textured plastic, and it's not. It's supposed to be smooth
Supposed to be
plastic.
smooth plastic, yeah.
You guys sanded that down?
Sanded it with 80 grit at first, just to give it some bite.
Wow.
Yeah. Went down to, I think, 320, and then put some like heavy build filler primer on it,
Uh-huh.
and then sanded that down smooth, and then painted it.
Yeah, it came out nice,
Took a lot of work, but we got it done.
and it matches perfectly. Because you said there's only like 2 shades of black.
No. There's lots of shades of black.
Oh, okay.
But there's 2 basic shades of black.
Okay.
With, like other shades in them. There's like a brown black and a black black. So
Without getting into like metallics.
no, there's just lighter and darker, and you can change it around a lot. But
Wow.
there's like if it comes to like straight black, it's like there's really 2 choices that used to be made.
Yeah.
It's different now, but whatever. I painted it black. I was like, just make it black. Make it as black as you can make it black, and it matches just fine. So
Yeah, it matches the rest of the stuff.
Yep.
And I don't even notice the part I damaged on the door.
oh really? It hides it pretty well.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody at Radwood, be sure to look really closely.
Great.
Sorry.
Actually, what I didn't do.
don't actually, because I have many more flaws on my car.
The window belt line,
Yeah, change those over.
you can't change them because they don't make them anymore.
Oh, I
I-
thought you were talking about the one you're gonna do gloss.
No,
black.
the rubber one that runs against the window, is that the belt molding too? Or is
it
it
would
different?
be yeah. Well, it's kind of, sure, sort of, yes.
I don't know what it'd be called.
It's like a wiper,
It's
window wiper.
yeah,
kinda
it's
deal.
rubberized.
Yeah.
So the rubber part that slides against the glass is fine, but then the aluminum part that it's attached
The
to
black
had
finish.
rubberized over it.
Yep.
That rubber had peeled off. For a lot of years, actually, I put electrical tape over it and it looked fine. And I was like,
Nobody noticed.
nope. And I was like, I'm gonna peel that off and finally paint it, and I haven't done that yet. So I might just put some electrical tape back over it and forget about it.
Yeah, it
'Cause
works.
It looked pretty good, and it literally was like that for like 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, it works. It's funny. On a unrelated story, we had a car come in the shop that had black moldings right there, and I ordered them from the dealership, and they came in chrome. And I had called the dealership and been like, "Hey, these are supposed to be chrome on this car. They're black on this car."
Mm-hmm.
And they called me back later on the day, and they were like, "Nope, they only make them chrome." And it turned out that he had painted them all.
Oh.
Yeah, but it kind of ruined progress in that car for a day. 'Cause I stopped working on it, parked it back outside, was waiting for the correct parts to come in,
Yeah.
and then I was like, "Wait, those parts don't exist."
You know what I noticed is on Stephanie's Crosstrack, she has the mid-level trim because that's the highest one you can get with the 6-speed,
Okay.
and the top level ones actually have chrome belt moldings on the car.
Oh, really?
Kind of looks weird, I think, on a modern car.
It does look.
I
Actually,
prefer the black.
this was an Impreza that I was talking about as well. They only came in chrome on that level Impreza.
Yeah.
So,
So why couldn't they just give you the?
well, dealerships want to sell you things by VIN.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but-
Don't go off the book. Oh my God.
anyway,
It's like
yeah,
you
it
have
was-
a brain,
Yeah.
Well, we've talked about this before.
Yep.
People, if you know what you're doing,
I do
you
it
can-
every day,
You can look up
so-
parts without a VIN. It helps, but if you know enough about the car line, you can do it without it and make it work.
So we sent my actually the owner of my shop drove probably 30 miles each way today to go pick up a grill molding for a car because somebody in the shop lost the other one.
Yeah.
And we specified to the parts guy on the phone that we needed the passenger side. Passenger side. The passenger side.
Didn't say right or left, passenger side.
We might have said right once, but we kept saying passenger side.
Because that way there's no confusion.
No confusion at all, and we got a left. but you couldn't tell because it's like a oblong shape. So he picked it up, and everything looked fine, and he drove back with it all the way back to where the shop is, and
hmm
I delivered the car to the customer today, -1 molding, and told them we'd give him a call when it comes in, and we'll snap it in.
Yeah, not to go too on a tangent. Yeah, I always say drivers or
Yep.
passenger side
100%.
because generally we're always dealing with left-hand drive vehicles.
Yep.
That's the way the car is set up in the United States.
hmm
Instead of saying right or left, you just say drivers or passenger side
Yeah.
because no matter what direction in your mind
No confusion.
you're picturing the car, there's no confusion.
But unfortunately, people still are not smart.
This is true. That's why we're parts professionals.
Yeah, well, they all consider themselves parts professionals, so
Anyway,
they get paid to sell
Do a shot.
parts. So yeah,
Sapporo. Where are we at?
I don't want to talk about it.
Talk about it, it'll make you feel better.
Where did we leave off last time? I spun my tale of junkyard transmissions. Got the transmission in.
Yep.
We drove the car.
Yeah.
I feel like that happened before last week.
Nope.
No, it did because we didn't record on Wednesday night because we finished putting the transmission in.
No, you finished resealing the pan that Wednesday night and filling it and driving it around the neighborhood.
Right.
Yep.
That was Thursday though.
That was Wednesday night.
So we did talk about it.
We did. We talked about it on Thursday's show.
Okay.
Yep. So we're there.
Yep. So
In between last Thursday
and today.
and recording the show tonight.
Yeah. I didn't get a chance to work on it this weekend because I had a lot of other stuff in my personal life going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I had some time away from the car. So last night I was going to swap the wheels over from my Starion onto the Sapporo because I want to run a more period correct wheel for Redwood.
Oh, Sapporo.
I have a customer in the shop right now also. His last name is Starion,
Oh.
but they drive a Mercedes. Missed opportunity. They should be driving crappy old 80s Mitsubishis.
Yep.
Anyway, where was I going with that? Okay, so yeah, last night I was going to swap over the wheels from the car to the other car.
Anki 92s.
Yep, 1992s to
Which
replace
have-
the...
Ancient snow tires on them.
Yeah, they're probably from, what, 09?
That's ancient.
I would say,
That's
yeah.
that's 10
They're
years
pretty
almost.
ancient. I'm going to change them before the weekend.
Oh yeah.
That is the plan. So, I get to my father's garage, because you were not around to do things in your father's garage, and neither was he.
Mhm.
And that's where the Starion is kept, is at my father's garage. My father's garage has gone from a place of working on cars to a place of looking at cars while watching television.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Shots fired.
It's not shots fired. That's what he likes, so it's okay. He doesn't like wrenching anymore because he just enjoys driving his cars. Nothing wrong with that.
Mhm.
He spent a lot of years wrenching on his cars, and now he doesn't want to anymore. So it's okay. I get it. But there's no jack stands anymore because he's using them to support four corners of a trailer in the backyard.
All right.
So that's annoying. So I called your father to see if I could borrow some jack stands from your garage across the street, but it was locked and he wasn't home. So I was frustrated, and I said, all right, well, there was a little rust spot on the door where it looked like the paint had cracked and some moisture had gotten underneath. So I was going to sand it down and put some rust converter on it, turn it back into nice metal, and just touch it up
Mm-hmm.
so it didn't get any worse.
Sure.
Apparently, at some point in the car's life, something had made a mark on the inside of the door, and it had been rusting for many, many, many years from the inside out. So the second I touched that rusty spot, there was a, what did you say, it's a quarter inch?
Yeah.
1/8 inch to a quarter inch
Maybe
hole?
like a penny or a dime.
Smaller than that.
Okay.
Much smaller than that.
Slightly smaller than a penny then.
I'd say much smaller than a penny. Anyway.
I have pence.
Yes. I hate penny. So there's a hole in my door. There's no rust on this car anywhere. The car is flawless. The pinch welds are flawless. The floors are flawless. There's one random spot now, dead center in the middle of the door almost.
I mean, take it back to your Plymouth dealer and see if they'll
Yeah.
do a corrosion warranty.
Well, Chrysler dealers still exist, so... And I'm still under the mileage, probably. 'Cause it only has like 68K on it. So anyway, there's a hole in my door now. And I'm super frustrated. So now the night has not gone well, because I haven't been able to change over the wheels, because there's no jack stands and only one jack. and I have to take the wheels off the Starion, put them on the Sapporo, and the wheels on the Sapporo onto the Starion.
Yep.
So I can't even do like one at a time because I only have one jack.
Nope.
So I say, all right, I'll fix the rust. Can't fix the rust. Now there's a hole in the door. All right, I'm here. The car's been in storage for years. I'm going to at least wash the dirt off of it. So I wash the car. Wash the car, vacuum the interior. I want to clean the dashboard, not with like super shiny stuff, just clean it because it's dirty from sitting.
Mm-hmm.
Go back in the garage. That is now a garage cars don't get worked on. And there's no interior cleaning products, which I can't complain about because it's not my garage.
Well, how does he clean his interior? Just dust them off?
They don't get dirty because they don't leave the garage enough. They just get dusted off.
Ah.
So in the place where I thought I found interior cleaning wipes, it was monitor cleaning wipes for cleaning his television in the garage. So anyway, that's the state of my father's garage.
Just be careful with that low shine stuff because, like I said, I don't know if it's the formula that changed or the parts have aged in our cars, but I've managed to wipe off the window switch lithographs on my cars.
Yeah, so I'm not trying to do low shine stuff. I was just trying to use some
I've even used glass cleaner. So literally,
ammonia-free glass cleaner.
yeah,
Hmm.
just take a damp rag and wipe it down.
Okay. I mean, that's all I really need.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll probably put some kind of protectant on the dashboard itself.
I would, and then just around where there's lithograph stuff, don't get it there.
Okay. Well, I know
I never noticed it before. I've definitely cleaned my car with Armor All before, and it's never done anything to the lithographs. And
Right.
all of a sudden, they change the alcohol content of these products or something, and it's
So it takes the white printing right off.
yeah, or it's just age. Suddenly they're,
Mm-hmm.
but these cars, my cars haven't sat in the sun very much, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden they're
That's weird.
yeah.
Well, regardless. Anyway, whatever phrases I say, I can't even remember now. So I vacuumed the car. I wiped it down a little bit. Everything's good. Washed the outside and said I'll go there tonight and take care of the wheels and tires because you were around, so I could borrow a jack from you, so I could use 2 jacks.
And I was gonna help you. We're gonna NASCAR change these tires and wheels.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll fast forward to today. So I had moved the car last night and just parked it in a spot. And I get there today and I pull the car forward, get everything all ready to swap over, pull down the Starion, which starts and runs beautifully, even though it's been sitting for
Oh my god, that car runs
Years.
so good.
years, and it cranked
It's like super quiet.
like the 4th crank, it just fired right up. It just drove like I drove it yesterday.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, it needed a jump pack, but other than that. So then I noticed that underneath where the Sapporo had been parked, there was a large puddle of transmission fluid again.
Cool.
Yeah, not cool. So obviously my attitude changed immediately, and I didn't change my tires and wheels again. And we cleaned up everything, put everything away, parked the Starion back, and loaded the Sapporo up on the lift in your father's garage.
Yep.
Where we thought the worst, we thought it was leaking out of the front seal behind the torque converter again, because of where the drip was on
Oh,
the
yeah.
bell housing. Thankfully, inside the bell housing is dry,
Perfectly dry.
so it's not coming from there. We cleaned it all off with brake clean, wiped it down,
Mm-hmm.
stared at it for 15, 20 seconds, and watched fluid like
We even started the car up and ran it.
yeah, to pressurize
and
inside of it.
nothing was coming off.
Yeah.
So I have a theory about this.
All right, well, let's let them know what happened first.
Okay.
So we found a spot where it's leaking at the front edge of the pan,
Mm-hmm.
right through, because we can't get a gasket for it, so we used gray RTV.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody makes a gasket for the A904B.
RTV should be fine.
Should be fine, yes. It was last time.
Yep.
So it's leaking out of the front of the pan again. I'm going to try to clean it really good tomorrow and maybe just put some more RTV on from the outside.
It's seeping.
Definitely seeping.
So what I think is happening, I shouldn't say theory, this is a hypothesis.
Which is kind of a theory, isn't it the same thing?
They're slightly different, but that's being pedantic.
Yeah, I don't know the difference.
When you're
I'm
running,
not a college man.
when you're running the car, your car's cheese man.
I'm a cottage cheese man.
When you're running the car, it's pulling fluid out of the pan and it's pressurizing it through the transmission.
Of course.
When the vehicle, so that it wasn't leaking when it was running.
Right, and when you shut it off, it pools in the pan.
Pulls in
and
the
goes
pan,
up above.
rises up
Mhm.
above where it's slightly open and it's seeping out.
So if
I
you
think if you start the vehicle and run it, clean this area, and then mush more sealant in there
while it's running.
while it's running, that might be enough.
Do the trick. So if you look, this is going to be hard to describe because there's no visuals here. If you look, the pan is only like a 1/4 inch deep.
I believe you took a picture of it. Did you not?
I did, but I'm going to describe it anyway. So the pan is like a 1/4 inch deep, and then the flange on the bottom of the transmission is like another 1/4 of an inch.
Mm-hmm.
But where the indicator is on the dipstick for the transmission is probably 1.5 to 2 inches up from there. So when that thing is sitting still, that pan is filled above and beyond the seam into the transmission another inch or so. So there's a lot of fluid sitting right there, which is why when the car shuts off, you're probably right. The weight of the fluid on top of the fluid at that point in the transmission is enough to push it up through that small slit in the seal somehow. So you're probably correct, unfortunately. So that's where the car sits now. It sits on your father's lift once again. Actually, he doesn't even know that because he wasn't home. He's going to come home to a surprise, but that's okay.
He might hear this podcast before he realizes it's in there.
Yeah, probably. So I'll be going there at some point and resealing that transmission again, hopefully for good this time. And I'm still going to try to make the trip. So the list is I need to put a muffler on it. I need to put tires on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to get an inspection sticker, registration, and an inspection sticker.
You have 7 days because you're going to register it.
Yeah, it's true for an inspection sticker. So regardless, it will get done. It'll be at Radwood, one way or another. Come hell or high water. Andrew's drinking heavy booze tonight, so
It's like weird stuff. It's this.
we're a quarter way to the glass, so shit might get weird.
There's a lot of water in it. It's a pre-mixed sweet tea drink thing that has liquor in it.
It's sweet tea. It's vodka.
It's vodka sweet tea.
Yeah,
Came in like a handle of it.
yeah.
We won it at this VFW post dinner that we go to monthly, my wife and I. So it was like,
Oh, it's 70 proof vodka.
oh yeah, it's good.
It's not
It's
it's not like a weird mixed drink thing. It's vodka with sweet tea flavor.
I love sweet tea though, and it looks like sweet tea.
I love sweet tea. I love vodka. This is for me.
Whatever.
I didn't have any because responsibility. I have to drive home, and I live 25 miles north of here. So.
I have to walk upstairs.
Yeah, well, we're at Automotive Podcast. We can't talk about drinking and driving, and we don't do it. So I'll have a beer drink podcast, but I will not have a 70 proof sweet tea drink.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I was crashing on your couch tonight. But my dog probably wouldn't like that very much. So what do we got going on today other than project cars? Because I think I'm done with my project car updates. Down date, update, down date, update, down date. Update?
Yeah. I don't think I have anything else to do on mine. I found the old grill I had put away, the original grill for the car that was painted. I don't know. I thought it would be cool to swap in an unpainted black one years ago, and it was just on the car.
Right. Probably at the same time and the same age we decided that red intake tubing was cool and red valve cover was cool.
Yeah, definitely.
It is what it is.
Doesn't matter. I'm correcting it.
I mean, you didn't do neon lights and
No.
TVs in the headrests, so you did
I did
okay.
all stuff that was bolt-on things that can be
You did
changed.
okay.
So the painting grill looks way better, but for some reason I took
100%.
the emblem out of it. And I think it was because the emblem was chewed up with rock chips anyways, and I
Yep.
was going to do something with it. And then come to find out, there is a guy on eBay. It's like Hoosier Decal is his username.
Like Hoosier, like Indiana?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he sells a replica of the original badge, and it's like the puffy material. Not like puffy, but it's the 3D-ish sticker.
It's almost like a sticker with like a clear coat over it.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks like the factory one, and I'm gonna put it in there. It should fit pretty well. And it's the same person I got the decals for the Galant side. That says
The door decals.
Yeah, the replica and he also makes, like, if I have other stuff painted on the car, he makes replica decals of the original stuff.
With the original colored backgrounds?
No,
Or
they're
it makes
clear.
with no background, so you
So
can
you-
put any color.
yeah.
That's cool.
So I might just order a set just to keep them in case
That's
the guy
good.
disappears. But
That's a good idea.
it's pretty cool that somebody's making them, and it's cool that, like, vinyl technology is getting. It's more than just like a vinyl sticker.
More than a die cut sticker. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put that on. I got replica reproduction HRE stickers to go on the new center caps that came with the wheels.
Yep.
So they're not all scratched up. So I'm gonna put those on. I got correct size lug nuts. Well,
So you can run center caps.
yeah, so they don't
Nice.
stick out too far. I have to swap. I did one wheel. I got to swap over the other one. So I'm gonna clean. I washed the car over the weekend. Put a little tire shine on there. Took some pictures that I posted. But I just have to take it back out, just clean it up a little bit more, put a little more tire shine on there, vacuum the interior. The car's really not that dirty. It was just covered in cobwebs and spiders.
Yeah, from sitting for so long, but I was sitting in a garage, so
Yeah, and I just threw some spray wax on there. I was gonna wax it, and I was like, oh, after I wash it, it's pretty shiny. I threw some spray wax on there, and it
hmm
came right back. So for now, I'm not gonna take the time to wax it. I'll just run it.
well, if you have some free time, just wax it.
Yeah, or spray wax it.
If you don't, you don't.
It's clean.
Yeah, it looks good to me.
It does. That's about it for that. Events. Went to Seacoast Cars and Coffee.
Upcoming or okay, yes, previous events.
Yeah.
That was the last one of the year.
Yep. But I drove the town there. That's where I did my shakedown miles. It was pretty cool. I haven't driven that car in forever.
Yeah, it was really neat riding behind you because it felt like it was 12 years ago.
Yeah. So you brought the Colt, which does not run hot on the highway. And it was a cool day, so it actually ran even cooler.
It even indicated cooler. Yeah, it ran
So
well.
that was good.
And we were doing like 75 the whole way.
Yep.
It ran really well. I mean, it still tacks out pretty high
Yeah.
at 75.
Yeah.
Doesn't love it, but
Yeah.
it goes along just fine. I wouldn't do it all day, but for a 25-minute jaunt down the highway, it's okay.
Yeah, I was surprised too. I didn't expect the HREs to balance up like perfectly, but they're pretty smooth.
Pretty smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Considering they're old used wheels. So pretty happy with that.
It was cool. We passed that Z600 in the highway.
Yeah, I was trying to think of what that was.
A Honda Z600.
Yeah.
I think it was like a 74.
Yeah.
Tiny little thing.
And then when we went to Cars and Coffee, he was parked next to at Mudhen Racing,
Yes, the Mini Cooper.
Mini Cooper. Patrick, our buddy Patrick from Rally Crossing.
The car was cool though because it was a Z600 with the original 600cc air-cooled motorcycle engine.
Mm-hmm.
But I had these little tiny fender flares and these little 10-inch
The
Uh,
Hayashis?
work
Work.
Mark IIs,
Like
which
four
is like a
spokes.
four-spoke squared off four-spoke looking wheel.
Like
Which in a
intense.
10-inch is like incredibly rare. And the fact that he found them on local Craigslist is just
No, he found them on eBay.
local eBay though. He had to pick them up. Like
Oh.
they weren't far away. Yeah,
And they had tires on there, like Avons or something on them.
yeah, yeah,
He said they were like $1,000, but whatever. They were
Yeah.
looking cool.
yeah. It was cool. He probably shouldn't have ran those tires, but whatever. Not my car, not my head.
So that was a cool car. And then there was a really, really clean four-eyed Fox body,
Yeah, so like an 86 down.
silver,
I think it was like 84 to 86 is that particular body style.
with an incredibly clean Coyote engine swap.
Yeah, they did like a full engine bay smoothing
Mm-hmm.
and then did a Coyote swap.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
Super nice.
And the colors were nice too. It was very subdued. It was silver with gray accents. It had a gold mesh wheel with a polished lip.
Mm-hmm.
Had the factory gray, Mustang GT Recaros.
Yep.
With the mesh headrests and the little red pinstripe. It was just super clean car.
Yeah, it was really nice. I love. I mean, it's probably just comes in the time that we grew up, but a clean Fox Body Mustang just checks a bunch of boxes. Like, even though they're not like the greatest car in the world.
No, they bring you back to an era.
Yeah.
It's why people who are 20 years old and 20 years older than us are like super into 60s muscle cars.
I think they're just proportionally.
A pretty
a Fox
car.
Body is a very good looking car. It seems. I mean, third gen Camaro Firebirds aren't. They aren't bad looking, but they seem long.
Because they are long.
Yeah.
Do you ever look at a Firebird from the side? Like a third gen Firebird?
they're very
and look
long.
at the overhang in front of the front wheel and behind the rear wheel. Like the approach angle on them is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
They're not bad looking. They're just a totally different. I don't know. It compared to the way I feel like the new Camaro, the current gen, and the current Mustang are very close in size. Even though I think the new Mustang wears its proportions better than a new Camaro.
100%.
Yeah.
But the new
regardless of driving dynamics, because that gets into a whole different thing. Some people
yeah.
are like,
Plus, we've never driven either of them, so we
yeah.
can't really say much about it.
But I said, like, proportionally, if I was going to plop the money down, even if the Camaro maybe runs a faster lap time somewhere, I'd probably buy a Mustang over it because I think it's a better looking car.
Yeah, driving experience is important, but liking the looks of the car is important too.
Yeah.
Which is how you know I'm broken, because I drive ugly cars and I love them.
Okay. Oh, and we saw our listener Frank with his 6-speed Challenger that he did up as Ghostbusters.
Decked up for Halloween as a Ghostbusters car, which is pretty good.
Which it's SRT8 Core on Instagram.
Yes, that sounds correct.
He has a very funny Instagram account with his car. He's very self-aware of how large a Challenger is.
Yeah, he's very self-aware of the fact that he's driving a Challenger, and he's okay with people making jokes about it because it is what it is.
It's a good follow.
Yeah.
And it's cool because it's 6-speed and he drives it year-round.
Yep.
So I respect that. Anything else? I think that was pretty much it.
Yeah,
there was a
bunch of nice cars. There's probably a good 400 cars there. But
there's a Diablo.
Yeah, the first time I've seen a Diablo in a long time. Oh, and the car of the show for me was
the TVR?
No, the Glass GT.
Oh, yeah.
It was a Glass GT on twin Webers with an Alpina airbox and Alpina wheels, and it was just gorgeous. For those who don't know, a Glass GT is a BMW 2002 based fastback. I don't know a lot of the history of the car. I just know what the car is, and I know they're really cool.
Why is it called a Glass?
That's the company that made them. GLAS.
Okay. There is a good mix of cars there.
Hans Glass GmbH.
And there was a good mix of what you would see at a cruise night and what you'd normally see at a Cars and Coffee. So there's a lot of older hot roddy type cars, 50s, 60s cars.
Yeah, it was a good mix.
And new cars. Yeah, it was very cool. So that is it's a good show. It's a large enough space, I guess. I mean, it seemed a little smaller. I don't know, maybe because it was I think there's Import Face Off or something was going on this weekend.
At Epping.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
So maybe that's why it was a little smaller crowd, but it was a pretty good crowd. That mini, there was some half-ton army trucks. So those half tons, 2 tons.
So normally you see they call them a deuce and a
half.
Deuce and a half. It was it looked like a deuce and a half, but it was half the size.
Yeah.
So it was a deuce and a quarter, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how it works.
I don't know what it was. It was if you asked a kid to draw a red truck, that's what they would draw, just all squared off and stuff. But it was cool. So I dug that. I think that's about it, though, for that.
Yeah, deuce and a half is the big one. It looks just like it, but it's smaller. It was a forestry service truck, I think, originally, or a fire department truck. But it's not a deuce and a quarter because that's an Electra.
All right, let's hop right into listener questions so we don't go too long here. Go to Facebook first, or do you want to do Instagram first?
Doesn't matter to me. We can do either.
Let's do Instagram
actually,
first.
before we get to questions,
what do you got?
Let's bring up, we're talking events. Let's talk the last mention of Radwood before we go. So Radwood is this weekend in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
If you're on the East Coast and you have some free time to get to Philadelphia, please come down. If you plan on showing a car, buy your ticket online ahead of time because they say it will sell out.
Yep.
If you're planning on spectating, you don't need to buy a ticket ahead of time.
Nope.
If you're bringing a Rad 4x4, be sure to look up Mitsubishi Monteros USA on Facebook. They're planning an after Radwood off-road trip. Just a short one. It's about 30 minutes, 45 minutes from the event. They're going to do an off-road trip right there. And if you follow Mitsubishi Monteros USA and look at, they're doing a photo contest right now as well, which you'll win some cool swag from those guys. So look up on their Instagram page and you'll see all that stuff.
All right.
Okay, that's all. Moving on to listener questions.
All right. Let's go Instagram. Start with
Sure thing.
Yeti Overland. Which host will eat the most cheesesteaks during the Radwood Philly trip?
That would be Brad.
Hashtag cheese stains.
Brad.
I don't know. I like a good cheesesteak.
Yes, but I am the more unhealthy eater.
What was the cheesesteak place? I keep forgetting the name.
Jim's
on South Street.
Yeah, that's the old school one we want to go to.
Yeah, it's all black and white checkerboard. We've been there before. My pro tip is to get a cheesesteak, not with the whiz cheese, because that's like what comes out of a can, like that stuff. Get it with like a sharp cheese, like a provolone, and then some not banana peppers. What's those spicy peppers? They're green spicy peppers. They're in vinegar.
I'm not gonna answer the question for you.
I can't remember what they are. Oh my gosh. What are these peppers called? Pepperoncinis. Put pepperoncinis on it. They're delicious. All right. Yeti Overhand has another question. Uh, Also, what are you doing to support the choice of a Harley conversion to iron oxide racing?
So we're gonna do Harlequin on the race car, the Mark II Golf.
Well, the back half is yellow now.
Right.
Front half is red.
Right. We were hoping to go with the McDonald's donk theme.
Okay.
But I think that there's another livery in the works, which I'm not sure if we're supposed to talk about or not.
No, let's leave it for surprise.
Okay, so there is a throwback livery in the works. We'll
Yeah.
leave it at that. It will not be a Harlequin.
No.
Harlequin would be cool. It would also facilitate telephone pole damaged panel changing because you would have to worry about the color.
Yeah.
But it is not happening. There will be a, we'll say Radwood era livery. Not exactly, but like a tribute going on the car.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about the livery.
The car is coming along nicely, though.
Yeah, the back half is already welded to the front half.
Mm-hmm.
So
All right. Dark fact. In the picture posted earlier with the Colton Talon ripping down the foliage-covered road, it says, "Where the hell is that? Please recommend some good driving roads locally. I'm in Bradford, Mass."
well, that's awesome that you're in Bradford, Mass, because I live like a minute and a half from you.
Mm-hmm.
Bradford is the other side of Haverhill.
Mm-hmm.
And I live on the other side of Haverhill, on the Groveland Georgetown side. So you should definitely swing by the garage at some point up there, and we'll talk cars or something. Anyway, we'll talk offline. That road was in what town was that in New Hampshire?
I forget.
What was the name of the place we went to?
Apple Crisp Farms?
Nope. Apple Crest.
Apple Crust?
Apple.
We're terrible.
Apple bottom jeans boots. Oh no, sorry. Apple.
Yep.
Apple something.
We didn't go apple picking.
We did not. No.
Because they have a really good restaurant there.
Yeah,
So we went to brunch after
the
Cars and
Apple
Coffee.
Crest. The Apple Crest Bistro
Yes.
is where we had lunch.
It was a
So that's
road
what it
near
is.
there. There's a bunch of neat little roads around there. But it was near like exit 1.
Hampton Falls, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
So that's where we were.
It was near exit 1 off 95.
Yeah, we chose to not drive straight down the highway, so we took a bunch of back roads. And honestly, the way we found those roads that day was I think we just followed GPS directions that didn't take the highway.
Yeah.
So find a destination in New Hampshire and hit don't take highway and go that way.
But dark facts, yeah, if we come hang out at the garage, we can talk about finding some driving roads.
Yeah, for sure. And I will also support Applecrest Farm Bistro because it was delicious, and
Yeah.
everybody should just go there. So that's what you should do. You should go on a Saturday or Sunday, take a day, and put Applecrest Farms Bistro in your GPS, no highways, and just go there and you'll find all
Oh,
those
and maybe if
roads.
you get lucky, they'll spill Andrew's drink on you,
Yes,
and then Andrew gets a free drink.
but I also get free donuts.
That's right.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes, Andrew ordered, what was that, your drink?
It was an apple cider mimosa.
Yes, an apple cider mimosa.
There's nothing wrong with that.
For some reason I was thinking of something else, but it was not. It was an apple cider mimosa, and the waitress spilled it all over my lap,
Yep.
and she felt bad, and she gave you your drink for free.
And then
And
brought
then I
us-
was like, "What the hell? I'm the one that got the drink spilled on me." I didn't really say that, but I thought that. But she brought us apple cider donuts.
and then we went to leave after we had these apple cider donuts. We
Yeah,
asked to wrap
we
up
had
the
like
last
two left. Yeah.
She brought out a full bag again.
Yes.
So it was pretty sweet.
I actually had it for breakfast this morning
And then
because I totally bogarted them all and brought them all home because I was the one covered in booze.
fine. But I went to get coffee as we were leaving because they had a little coffee bar, and they messed up my drink order and made my wife and I ordered the same drink with almond milk, and she's like, "Oh shoot, I didn't give you almond milk. Do you have somebody in your party that'll drink these?" And I was like, "Why, yes, I do."
Yeah. So we got your other two drinks.
Yeah.
So.
So we got bunch of free drinks
Yeah,
and free
but
stuff.
regardless of the free stuff, the place is delicious. And
worked
there's
out in our
good,
favor
and there's
that
good
day.
driving roads there. And even if it's a long wait to go inside, they had cornhole boards to play while you're waiting for your
Yeah.
tables.
Yeah, so that was fun.
Anyway,
All right. Moving on. Dave LC2. What was the coolest 80s feature in a car that you think cars should have today? I think it's the oscillating vents in the 82 to 92 Mazda MX-6 was a
88.
neat, and 88 to 92 MX-6 was a neat and useful feature.
Have you ever seen those before?
I've never seen them in person.
Okay.
But I know what they are.
Yeah, they oscillate. They swing back and forth in the vents.
I know what oscillation means.
I'm just. Yes, I'm sure most of our audience does too. I should not assume that everybody is dumb and I'm smarter than all. Because it's not true.
I like the talking feature in your Sapporo.
That's what I was going to say. Cars should still talk to you.
The door is ajar.
Please remove ignition key.
Yeah. Instead
Please turn off
of like
headlights.
beep, instead of just that.
Well, there's a switch under the seat where I can change it to just an indicating tone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Well, if you drive the car enough days in a row, you do get tired of yelling at you to put your seatbelt on.
It's Siri.
Please, it's Proto Siri. Yeah, for sure. It's Sapporo.
That's probably the coolest feature. I can't think other than the birthday alarm in your Cressida.
That was the coolest one. And the story behind that was kind of neat too, because it was a Cressida. It had a sport package. So it had the cloth seats. Was it a sport package? I don't know if it's called a sport package, but whatever the package was, it was a sportier package. And it had the cloth seats and some other, and a digital dash, and it had a trip computer.
Yep.
And the trip computer showed distance to empty, instantaneous mile per gallon, run time, like trip time, and then it said birthday. And I remember I bought the car and didn't think much of it. And I sat there and I plugged my birthday into it because I was like, oh, whatever, it's my birthday. And then I got in the car on my birthday and I put the key in the ignition, and this weird speaker buried somewhere under the dashboard, not related to anything else, started playing a digitized version of, like an 80s digitized version of the Happy Birthday song that morning when I started my car.
It's pretty sweet.
That was a cool feature.
That and bouncy seats in first-gen Monteros.
Yep. So all three things in cars that I own or have owned.
Yep.
But I can't think of anything else that was a cool 80s feature. I mean, another really cool one, the AE86 Corolla had the fog light covers that were motorized.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Those are pretty cool.
All right. Good answers. Northeast Mitsubishi 4x4 crew. Who is the third famous Daredevil?
So he's referring to, I just was talking to Eric about that the other day. He just listened to the Devil at Your Heels episode. So what do we call that episode?
The
Aim for the Roses comes from.
That's what it is.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay. And he just watched the documentary. I sent him the link to watch the documentary, and he was like, "This is the greatest thing I've ever seen."
It's awesome.
Yeah. So he watched The Devil at Your Heels.
It's on YouTube if you haven't seen it yet, or listen to our episode. Go watch it on YouTube and listen to our episode.
Yeah. That's probably my favorite episode we've ever done.
Yeah.
It's really, if I do say so myself, it's really good. I don't know who the third famous Daredevil is, no, but that's what he's referring to.
Who is that guy that the guy was dressed up as Radwood Atlanta?
Oh, Super Dave Osborne?
Super Dave Osborne. He'd be third famous, right?
So it's Evel Knievel, obviously, is first.
Yeah.
And then
Ken Carter.
Ken Carter is second.
Yeah.
And Super Dave Osborne would be my third, sure.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. All right. Next up. I think it's Brief 61 or Bref.
Brief works. BREIF.
Black Cherry 1GA DSM. Cool because it's purple, or despite being purple, semi-related. This podcast makes me miss my DSM days. My wallet grows warm.
1GA DSM in purple is cool because it's purple.
Yeah.
I mean, as Radwood era colors are purple. What's cooler than what was a Techno Violet M3?
Yeah.
Not much. Purple is cool. Purple was cool in the 70s on Challengers and Barracudas and Plum Crazy. Purple was cool in the 90s.
I meant to bring down my 90 sales brochure to actually get the technical name of that color, but I forgot what it is. Because mine's not champagne. It's like gray amethyst or something weird. And then what was your blue color called?
I don't know.
But
hold on, I'm looking.
Also, that was the other cool thing. So if it's a purple TSI, it was a tritone car. So it's silver bottom. That was the other cool thing. Like, when was the last time you got a sports car that had a silver bottom, a colored middle, and then a black roof? Like, that was kind of wild. Like, I always liked that your car had three tones.
Yeah, silver bottom, blue middle, black roof was definitely cool.
Yeah.
And I kept it that way.
But I don't know what the color is called, so we'll just keep going.
I got it right here. Hold on.
You got it?
Just trying to make it bigger.
All right.
This stupid.
All right.
Black cherry.
Black cherry. All right.
So black cherry.
Yep.
Yours is pewter mist.
Pewter mist.
And then There was Rally with an E, red.
Yeah. They do look good in red, solid red
Mhm.
with a black roof.
My car was Midnight Blue Metallic,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's Bright White and Black. So my two favorites are actually I didn't wasn't a huge fan of the blue on my car. That's why I changed it, made it a darker blue when I painted it.
It worked though.
The darker blue I changed it to did.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was actually a Chevy color. Because the midnight blue was a little too. I don't know.
A little more teal.
It wasn't blue enough. It was just kind of a. It was almost like a faded blue, even though paint wasn't faded. But yeah, black cherry metallic is the name of the color.
All right, cool. I don't know. Gissy Yupich?
Hold on, please hold. I have to get back there now.
All right.
Gesupich.
Gesupich.
No idea.
So, which motor do you prefer for the Mitsubishi Galant Super Saloon 1992?
I mean 4G63.
4G63 Turbo.
Yeah, there's no other. There is no other.
No.
I mean, I wouldn't turn down a clean Galant of that generation of any of any power plant.
Yeah,
Even a single cam automatic car I would drive for the wintertime or daily or whatever.
sure.
But yeah, 4G63 turbo.
All right. Who's Your Daddy RS? When will Brad's RX-7 run again?
That is a deep cut because we haven't even talked about my RX-7 possibly ever.
Maybe.
Maybe
He's
once.
just stalking you.
Yeah. Well, no, he follows me on.
It does
Instagram.
run though, doesn't it?
Oh, it does run. Yeah, it'll run and drive. It just needs body work.
Hmm?
So it's a. For those that don't know, it's a 1990, 91, 90 FC convertible with 36,000 original miles.
Yeah. Please don't call it a vert. You'll hurt
No,
me.
it's
You'll
a
hurt me.
It's a convertible. If I ever said vert in my
No.
life, yeah.
People say vert.
Unless I was talking about skateboarding.
Vert is like nails in a chalkboard. to
Yeah,
me.
it's not true. Actually, technically, in Japan, they called it, and it was labeled with an emblem, the cabriolet.
That's fine.
Yeah, but it's convertible. So my FC convertible is a 36,000 mile original car that I bought because it was a light hit in the nose, and it's just not a project that I've gotten to yet. I have almost all the parts except a front bumper because it's a 2-year only front bumper, and it's hard to find.
All right. Cool.
But it will run again.
And then related, Alex Stadel, weight at TSI SS350 has an RX-7.
Yes, there you go.
All right.
TSI SS350 has had a few RX-7s, currently has one. His father currently has 2, but at peak had 3. And at peak, between the two of us, there were 5.
Yeah.
So we do have a little RX-7 problem.
I would still like a first gen.
Yeah, my father has the 84 first gen with 19,000 miles.
Gorgeous car.
And he also has a 1990 convertible, also white.
Knife Informer James. So I think he's asking what we would drive.
Preference.
So Galant VR4, Spirit RT, Gen 1 SHO manual, 190E 2316, Saab 9000 Turbo 2-liter, 1993 Maxima SE, Volvo 850 Turbo Sedan, or Audi 90 20-valve Quattro. Those are all solid choices.
They're not all solid choices.
No?
I mean, a 93 Maxima is not really.
As long as it's a manual.
I mean, I guess they were okay, but
They're kind of cool and boxy looking.
I don't think I'd ever. The only Maxima that I would desire to own is a first gen Maxima
Okay.
because it's basically a 280Z
Yeah.
sedan.
Yep.
It's inline 6.
So I have a real love for 850 Turbo.
Yep. There's no secret
just
there.
because my mom had one when I was a
You
kid,
grew up in them, yeah.
and they're just super cool looking cars.
Yeah, the car that looks like the box it came in.
Yep.
So I have personal experience, obviously, with the Galant VR4, as well as you do as well. And I have personal experience with a Saab 9000 Turbo. I currently own both of those cars.
I mean, I seem like a Mitsubishi person, but I'm really a Volvo person at heart.
Yeah, you just own a lot of Mitsubishis.
Yeah. Like I grew up with Volvos. We always had Volvos.
Yeah. Well, I grew up with nothing but Camaros and Corvettes and Thunderbirds, so
You have a Camaro.
yeah, I guess, but still.
Which it's funny. My theory, of course, is that when Volvo went upmarket, all those same people that were Volvo people are now Subaru people.
That's not a theory, that's a proven fact.
Yeah.
100%. And I have many customers who are Subaru owners who say they used to drive a Volvo.
Yeah, because now my entire family, now we're Subaru people.
Yeah. The Volvo went so far up market that they're just not affordable anymore.
Yeah.
You can spec out a Volvo SUV to pretty close to 100 grand. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, but yeah, so I have personal experience currently because I currently own a Galant VR4 and a Saab 9000. Saab 9000 is a super sleeper of a car. People don't think about them at all. They're fast. They handle really well. And once you've replaced the ignition coil packs, they're pretty damn reliable. So I like them a lot. But they're only available in front-wheel drive.
Yeah.
If I were to pick any one car from this list, I don't have actual experience behind the wheel of one. I would like to. It would be the 190E.
Mm-hmm. So it's over 9,000.
Over 9,000 what?
Nothing.
Oh, yes. I would pick the 190E over the 9,000.
Okay.
I get your reference of over 9,000, but anyway, yes. So
Yeah, I'm not
also,
really...
side note, if anybody wants to buy a Saab 9000, I
Yeah.
might have one for sale.
Yeah. I'm not that into Audi 90s.
No, I like the previous generation
Yeah,
and
they're
the generation after it.
They're kind of too round. For some reason, they don't do it for me.
I do like they have weird bumpers that have like an exposed beam with a rubber bumper around it. Which is
Yeah.
kind of cool. And I like the Coupe Quattros.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna take it back because there's a local one to us, that red sedan with the big Hellas in the front of it, and it looks pretty good. So,
Yeah, they're kind of funky looking. You gotta kind of really love them. I'm not that into them, but I could see it. Some people probably really love them, obviously, but
the Spirit RT is really the weird sleeper of this whole group because it's a Spirit RT. It's a Dodge Spirit.
yeah.
I mean, they're fast.
I was never
They're
into those
neat.
Omnis or Spirits.
I like the original Omnis, but after that, and I really, really, really
Or the
like,
Charger.
I like the Shelby Charger a lot.
Oh my god. Ugh.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Ugh.
It's a beautiful car.
Man, you are Mopar or no car.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I just chose a Saab over a Spirit.
Whatever. You love Dodges and Plymouths and
Yeah, go ahead and get in your Eagle and drive somewhere, all right? Next question, Albino09. Can we get weekly story times from Brad a la the transmission ladder? I haven't laughed out loud at a podcast like that in a long time. Well, I appreciate the sentiment. I have to have experiences to tell stories, so I could go back into my history of things that have happened and tell lots of stories, but I don't know. We'll save them for gems when they come up in life. But I'm glad you enjoyed that story.
That was a good one.
I almost had a heart attack as it was happening, but after the fact, it is a pretty good story.
Yeah, that was a good one. All right. Moving to Facebook. All right. Jamie Prohaska. What's the difference between a turbocharger and a supercharger? So, I know Jamie, she's trying to learn about cars.
Okay.
So, basically, they both do the same thing. The idea is that they're used...
Add more air and add power.
Yep, they're used for forced induction. But they do so in a different way. So a turbocharger runs off of the exhaust, and it has a turbine wheel that gets spun by spent exhaust gases as they leave the engine, and it's connected via a common shaft to a compressor wheel on the opposite side of the turbo. So where the exhaust side is called the hot side, because exhaust is hot, and then there's the cool side, or the compressor side,
Where the air comes in.
where the air comes in. And as it comes in, it's compressed inside that turbine housing, and then it's forced into the engine, hence the forced induction. And then as long as you add enough fuel to match the amount of air that's now going into the engine, you get more power.
Mm-hmm.
So you can make more power from a smaller engine.
They're very efficient.
They're very efficient. You get some lag with early versions,
Mhm.
but there's been some advancements with twin scroll and just the...
I mean, honestly, intercooling and ball bearings make the biggest difference, I think.
No, the
If
twin...
you drive some of my Starion, it's got a very small turbo on it, and
Mhm.
it still has pretty good lag because it's
Yeah.
an early bushing style turbo and no intercooler.
Yeah, well, now with twin scroll and variable valve
Well,
timing...
that makes a big difference too now, but
Variable valve timing makes a huge difference for spool.
Yep.
But yeah, that...
and variable vane turbos and
Yeah,
some whole
yeah,
deep side of things we can go down.
Porsche runs variable vane, and they don't need wastegates because they can just open the vanes. They don't make boost pressure anymore.
Mhm.
It's pretty cool. A supercharger runs off of the engine crankshaft, so it's typically belt driven. And there's a couple different versions. There's a centripetal,
Or centrifugal.
centrifugal
Yep.
that looks kind of like a turbocharger, the way it's shaped.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is a roots type, and
Which sits on top.
yeah, and they just have different types of the way the air is compressed inside them. It just looks a little different. There's like either like what looks like screws that compress the air.
That's the root style. It's two
That's a root
screws that
style.
go together.
The centrifugal looks like a turbocharger. It has a compressor wheel,
Mm-hmm.
but they achieve the same thing. But there's a little bit more parasitic loss off of the engine because the engine is running the supercharger. However, there's less lag. But typically, supercharging is not as common as turbocharging because it's more efficient.
Turbocharging is more efficient, yeah.
Yeah.
And supercharging requires more space as a rule, and it requires more pulleys and more belts. It's more complicated.
Yeah, so although an SQ5 is supercharged, so there's some engines that are supercharged, usually V engines because current packaging they can put the supercharger.
As far as factory superchargers.
Yeah, they can put the supercharger between the two banks of cylinders, but pretty typical and common now. Turbocharging is being used more and more on four-cylinder cars.
Yeah. I can only think
and
of
even V6s and stuff to increase power and
Mhm.
fuel economy.
Yeah, Ford is famous for it right now with their EcoBoost engines.
Mhm.
I can only think of a couple of factory supercharged cars that weren't V engines. Not very many.
Usually, like a blower Bentley was like a straight 8 or something, right?
Well, that had the supercharger off the front of the car.
Yeah.
It wasn't on top of the engine. But I'm thinking like Volkswagen Corrado had a
Yeah.
supercharger, and that was an inline 4, and it sat in front of the engine. There was a small Nissan we didn't get here called the March, which was twin charged.
Yeah.
It had a supercharger and a turbocharger.
Yeah, twin charging's pretty wild. It's very rare in cars. It's more likely seen in piston-powered aircraft
Mhm.
because obviously at higher altitude you have less air, so it's beneficial to
To
compress
create
the air.
more air.
Yeah, you're artificially creating atmosphere by using a turbo and a supercharger, so it makes it more efficient.
This could be a whole dig deep episode sometime about turbo
We should.
technology and where it started and where it's come from.
We
and where
should.
it's
I was
gone.
thinking about
Yeah.
that when I saw this question, but yeah, so that's the basic gist of it. I hope that explains it well. So moving on.
Jim Hodgson, what lift kit is on that DSM?
Oh,
Referring obviously to Andrew's picture of his car.
oh, it's stock springs.
It's funny how we think of that as a lift kit now, because when was the last time you saw a non-lowered DSM?
It's been a while.
Yeah,
I think it actually looks pretty good that way.
I think it'll look better lowered.
It would 100% look better lowered. However, the IBAC springs and the AGXs do not play well. It's proven. They ride like crap.
However,
They blow out the AGXs really fast.
when I bought that setup that used to be on your car for my old car,
It was the hot setup.
the only setup you could get.
Now there's some nice coilovers out there.
Do you want to know a funny story?
They're not in the budget right now, but next year.
I bought that suspension setup at Indie Auto Parts
Whoa.
because it was pre-internet, like Amazon, and it was like go down to the
You
speed
probably
shop
paid
and buy them.
All the money for them too.
I don't know, they were. I bought them for the same price there that they sold them for like Mach 5.
So
Oh.
basically what happened was that setup was on the car. The AGXs blew out, of course, as AGXs do.
I went through a few sets of rears.
So I was just annoyed with it, and I was looking on eBay, and a guy had a set of stock springs with the AGXs all mounted together. I was like, sweet. And I just bought them a while ago, swapped them in so I could drive the car. It wasn't bouncing around like crazy. It works for now. No apologies.
And also the last question of the night is from Joe Davis. Did you remove the cobwebs from this car prior to the photo shoot?
I did. There was a lot of spider webs on it. A lot of spiders. I've got a lot of daddy long legs in my garage.
Well, you live on like wetlands.
We kind
In
of have
front
an
of wetlands.
we kind of have an agreement. I try to leave them alone because I know they eat other bugs.
Yeah.
Um,
You've named most of them.
I mean, it was kind of scary working in the car. Occasionally, I'd touch like a spider web, or like find a dead one, or see a crawling one, and like, I don't really like spiders, but I worked through it. I suffered through it. I cleaned them off. Car should be good to go now. You know what's a weird thing I always notice? What is up with the small white spiders that seem to live on cars?
I don't know.
I call them car spiders.
Yeah, they are car spiders.
But they're always in cars. I don't understand where they come from.
They must love leaky engines.
They always like drop down from the visor as you're driving and you want to just run off the road.
The small red ones are in cars a lot too.
Yeah, I don't know what those are.
The ones that you like squish and it looks like a blood stain in your pants.
So weird. Anyway, I think we're calling that a podcast.
I think that's it.
Sounds pretty good. All right, so as always, follow us on Facebook, Auto Off Topic Podcast. Follow us on Instagram, Auto Off Topic. Follow me on Instagram at Raced in Anger. And as always,
Follow me on Instagram by searching the hashtag Vintage Mitsubishi.
ooh,
Aha! I'm not the only one that uses it, but probably most. Yeah, but my name is TS.
I think you started it though.
I did start it, yes. TSISS350.
Cool. And leave us some 5-star reviews on iTunes if you use that. It helps us in the rankings.
Yep, 100%.
We're looking for sponsors. If there's any sponsors out there, contact us.
Andrew's had a few drinks.
autoofftopic@gmail.com. Whatever.
Also, we have new decals again, thankfully. Not new design, but we restocked up on decals.
Okay,
so.
yeah, we got a restock of the classic decal. We will have them at Radwood.
Yep.
We'll
and
be walking around.
If you do rate and review us, send us a screenshot of it to the email and your address, and we'll get you some in the mail.
Yeah, we've been a lot faster at that.
Promises.
We have been a lot faster at that lately.
Yes.
But if you run into us at Radwood and you want a sticker, let us know. We'll both have stickers on us.
Mm-hmm.
We can have one. We might even just be handing them out to people, trying to push the podcast. So
We'll just be slapping them out of our hands.
Yep.
Like dollar
just
bills.
throw them on the ground.
Yeah.
So thanks for listening. Keep your cars analog. See you later.
And aim for the roses, Andrew.
Oh, yeah.
Don't forget our famous last phrase.